This little guy has his own merch now. But Netflix didn't invent him. He comes from an actual Korean ghost sighting, written down from a woman who met him on a mountain path in the 1960s. I'm Korean. I grew up with these stories. And the strangest thing in the East Palace isn't the ghost, it's the king. Here's the setup. No spoilers yet. Princes keep dying in the palace. Everyone whispers about a curse from the pond. And the king? In front of his court, he calls it superstition, nonsense, beneath a Confucian king's dignity. Then the sun goes down, and he secretly summons an exorcist with a lovely little clause attached. Fail, and you die. If that feels like hypocrisy, congratulations. You've just understood 500 years of Korean history. Joseon, the dynasty this show is modeled on, was officially the most rigorously Confucian state on earth. Rational, bureaucratic, allergic to superstition, on paper. Ghosts were officially not a state matter. In practice, kings' mothers hired shamans. Queens commissioned rituals behind closed gates. And when a prince in the show gets investigated for employing a shaman against the royal house, that is not drama flavor. That was a real crime in Joseon law, with real trials and real executions. The court that mocked shamans by day prosecuted shaman curses by night, which tells you they absolutely believed they worked. So the king's double game in the East Palace, public denial, private exorcist, isn't a character flaw the writers made up. It's the exact posture of a real Joseon king. But here's where it gets genuinely weird, and where the show quietly walks past the most incredible fact in Korean ghost history. Because a Joseon king facing a vengeful spirit problem already had a government department for that. I'm not being cute. This is real. It's documented, and almost nobody outside Korean academia talks about it. In 1401, the Joseon state formally added angry ghosts to its official register of state rituals. The system was called Yoje, the rite for hungry, wrong spirits. There was a dedicated altar built in the capital. There was a schedule. There was, effectively, a budget line for the restless dead. Sorry, Netflix. And the bureaucratic detail is glorious. The state recognized 15 official categories of wronged ghost. Died in an epidemic with no descendants. Died in battle, unburied. Executed unjustly. Drowned. Starved. Each category got a tablet, and 3 times a year, spring, midsummer, early winter, officials in formal robes bowed to them on behalf of the king. When plague or drought hit, the king could order an emergency session for ghosts. Sit with that. The most Confucian government in history looked at vengeful spirits and did the most Confucian thing imaginable. It filed them, categorized them, and put them on the ritual calendar. Not to destroy them, to feed them, honor them, and settle their grievances. Keep that word in mind. Settle. It's going to matter. So, the obvious question. If the king already had the ministry of angry ghosts, why does the show's king need a random exorcist with a death clause contract? Because the state system had one enormous blind spot. It only worked when the state itself wasn't the problem. You can't file paperwork against a ghost your own family created. For that, you need an outsider. Enter Guchan. And here, foreign viewers keep making one understandable mistake. He is not a shaman. A Korean shaman, mudang for women, baksu for men, and yes, the show literally names a character Baksu, that's the writer's wink at you, serves gods. Spirits descend into them. They negotiate as vessels. Guchun serves nobody. No god rides him. He walks into the ghost world on his own 2 feet and settles things with his own hands, which, in this mythology, makes him something rarer and lonelier than a shaman. His closest ancestor in Korean lore is Choyong, a figure from the Samguk Yusa, our 13th century collection of legends, the one human who could stand in front of a spirit and make it back down. Even his name is a pun you can't get in subtitles. Guchon, written one way, means the 9 springs, the world of the dead. Written another way, to save heaven. The show hangs its whole question on that coin flip. Is this man descending or rescuing? Hold that thought for the ending. Now, the fun stuff, the tools. Guchun's sword is carved from a jujube tree struck by lightning. Specific, right? That's Byeokjumok, and it's real folklore physics. In the yin-yang system, ghosts are pure yin, cold, dark, accumulated. To repel them, you want maximum yang. Jujube wood is already considered a yang-heavy tree. Lightning is heaven's own yang. A jujube tree that survived a lightning strike is, folkloristically speaking, a fully charged battery. Same logic, Exhibit 2, the peach branch. But not any branch. It has to be one growing toward the east where the sun rises. That's called dongdoji. And for over 1,000 years, Korean shamans have used exactly that to whip demons out of a house. East equals sunrise equals yang equals ghost repellent. Are you noticing a direction forming? One more, and this one is blink and you miss it. At one point, someone climbs onto a roof, waves a robe, and calls out "bok" 3 times. Even Korean viewers scrolled past it. That's gobok, the real first rite of a traditional Korean funeral, calling the departing soul back by its clothes. And in the proper old manuals, you climb up by the eastern eaves. So, the demon-killing sword is charged with yang. The ghost-whipping branch must grow east. The soul is called back from the east side of the roof. And the crown prince, the future son of the nation, lives in the eastern quarter of the palace. That's why it's called the East Palace. The title isn't a location. It's the show telling you its entire magic system in 2 words. Which brings us to the realm of Gui, the red mirror world where Guchon does his work. Same palace, wrong color, full of the dead. If it reminded you of the Upside Down in Stranger Things or Silent Hill's Otherworld, trust that instinct. And here's where I owe you honesty, because it's my job as the Korean in the room. That realm is the show's invention. It is not our traditional afterlife. The real Korean afterlife is not a parallel dimension. It's a one-way journey, and at the end of it, a courthouse. 10 courthouses, actually. In the tradition, the dead stand trial before 10 kings, one judgment every 7 days, which is why Korean families hold the 49th day memorial, marking the 7th of the 7-day trials. Then further hearings at 100 days, 1 year, 3 years. Judges, records, verdicts. Karma, processed like paperwork. Notice the pattern? Living Joseon handled ghosts with a government office. The afterlife handles the dead with a court system. Koreans didn't imagine death as chaos. We imagined it as administration. Honestly, it might be the most culturally accurate thing about us. And one thing the show gets deeply right, the palace maid's ghosts, the 13 burned alive in the salt warehouse. Guchon doesn't slash them into pixels. He hears them and unties the grievance. That's not mercy as a plot device. That's the actual Korean method. A wronged ghost isn't a monster to kill. It's a case to close. The word is Haewon, releasing the knot. Yaje in a living world, Haewon in the dead one. Same philosophy, both directions.
Fair warning. Final episode spoilers for the next minute. You've been warned.
The show's final twist is that the 30-year curse was never supernatural. It was a human plot, wearing a ghost story as camouflage. Here's what gave me chills. That exact structure is in our actual royal records. In 1527, someone hung a mutilated rat from a ginkgo tree in the real East Palace, a death curse aimed at the crown prince, who was born in the year of the pig. The court exploded. A royal consort was exiled and executed for it. Years later, the truth surfaced. It was staged, a political frame job, dressed up as black magic. And the real East Palace kept earning its reputation. One crown prince came home from years as a hostage and was dead within months, his body blackened. Another died locked in a rice chest by his own father. The show didn't invent a cursed East Palace. It read the records. Which leaves the chain on Gu-chan's wrist, the debt that followed him out. Remember his name? 9 Springs or Save Heaven? The show never tells you which one he chose. If you want the stories Netflix builds from, the real dokebi, the water ghost rights, the fox with 9 tails, they're all on this channel, told the way I heard them. I'm Korean, and this is our lore. See you in the next one.